Will Grenfell Tower be demolished? Ministers are about to decide. We're going to read into this more from an article from the Times, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from the Times with a headline that will Grenfell Tower be demolished? Ministers are about to decide. Engineers says the building can't be restored or left as it is, but survivors have been promised a fitting and lasting memorial. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. I do think there should be a fitting and lasting memorial for what happened at Grenfell. I definitely think there should be something like that. I think they could do something like that, similar to what happened at 9/11. We can definitely do something similar along those lines, and I think that's something the government should seriously consider. Should the tower remain? In my honest opinion, no. I don't think it should remain. I think it would cost too much to repair it. I understand the feelings that some people may have about it, but I don't think it is in the interest. I don't think it's in the best interest to keep that tower there. I think personally they should bring it down, and they should have a memorial on the ground of where it is instead, to remind people of what happened, to remind people of all those who lost their lives, so that people who come to London and visit know of what this tragedy and know that this happened because of government failures, of institutional failures on a massive scale. And still to this day, they haven't got the justice they deserve. But that tower must go down, in my opinion. We can't have it up. I just doesn't feel right to me to just fix it back up and then just use it again. It doesn't feel right, and I don't think it's and I am sitting on the outside of this, I know, but I just don't feel it's fitting as some kind of memorial to keep that structure, given the reason it went up in flames in the first place. I think it should be demolished, and I think they should have a proper memorial site in the place of where that building is instead, to commemorate what happened, so that people know. Sorry, commemorate's not the right word, but to express the solace and the names of all those who have lost their lives. I think that would be a much better idea than keeping the building. But honestly, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let's have a read into this more, you guys. So, ministers will decide the future of Grenfell Tower next month, more than 7 years after the fire tripped through the 24-storey block of flats, killing 72 people. Bereaved families have been told to expect a resolution after structural engineers recommended last year that the charred remains of the building, or at least parts of it that are significantly damaged, be carefully taken down. A 6-year public inquiry only concluded in September, setting out how a chain of failures across government and the private sector led to the tower in Kensington, West London, becoming a death trap. In June 2017, a fire started by a malfunctioning fridge freezer broke out in the flat and spread rapidly, trapping dozens of people in the upper floors. More than 250 firefighters and 70 engineers were involved in efforts to control what became the deadliest residential fire in the UK since the Second World War. An update from the Grenfell Tower site management team at the Ministry of Housing, Community and Local Governments, the MHCLG. The local community has been told there will be no immediate changes to the site, whatever the decision, before the 8th anniversary of the tragedy in June. So nothing's going to change by June, whatever decisions will be made. No, whatever decisions have been made. So in June, when they have the anniversary, we'll see from there. The Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, has recently shared with you that she plans to continue the conversation about the tower to understand your views and come to a decision in February 2025. She has made a firm commitment that you will continue to be at the heart of this process, the document added. Engineering experts have confirmed that the tower remains stable and it is safe for people to live, work and study nearby. However, they have warned that despite safety works, including the installation of props from the basement to the roof, the condition of the structure, which is especially damaged above the 10th floor, will continue to worsen the longer the building is left in place. And it is not practical to repair it to put it back into use. And this is what I'm saying here. This is exactly why I agree with it, because yeah, the practicality just doesn't feel right for it to still be there, if I'm honest. The advice echoes the findings of a report by structural engineers in 2021, when the Sunday Times revealed that Robert Jenrick, the housing minister at the time, was poised to announce plans to demolish the tower. His successor, Michael Gove, put the plans on ice after the outcry from bereaved families. It needs to go down. It does need to go down. But, you know, coming from Robert Jenrick, I don't blame them for being angry about it. The building was released as a crime scene in August 2018 when police confirmed they had obtained all the evidence they required for the criminal investigation. With the first trial not expected before the middle of 2027 at the earliest. However, the government says 2027. It's just 2027. However, the government said it says it will write to the Metropolitan Police, the Crown Prosecution Service, and HM Coroner before a decision on the future of the tower is reached. According to Grenfell Joint Strategy Needs Assessment published in May last year, many residents in the immediate community around the tower are concerned about the negative impact of living near the tower and seeing it every day. Gabriel Solsko, who lives with his 2 sons on Grenfell Road, said next to the burnt out remains of the tower, agrees. Personally, we want it to come down. It's been there for ages. From a life perspective, I think it's time to move on rather than have that space underutilized and made into a memorial, something a bit more meaningful, he said. This is what I'm saying. I absolutely agree. Make it into a memorial instead. Like it is, it doesn't help anyone. I don't think the green heart is a good way to remember it, as they should incorporate that symbol, but it's up to the families. The shell of the building, shrouded in plastic, is emblazoned with the green heart for Grenfell, originally designed as a badge to commemorate those lost in the tragedy. And the words Grenfell forever in our hearts. John Troltley, Sabrelow's neighbour, said, "It's an eyesore. I don't mean anything disrespectful. For me personally, they should have taken it down and built a permanent memorial. What is it, 7 years now? Should it really take that long to sort all these things out?" Government is committed to creating a fitting and lasting memorial determined by the community to honour those who lost their lives in the tragedy, for those lives ever change. Ministers have promised that elements from the tower and the site can be retained as part of the memorial. There we go. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, why not? The independent Grenfell Tower Memorial Commission is in charge of the decision on what the memorial will look like. In July, it set up a process to select their memorial design team, a decision on which is set to be made early this year, while the earliest date for the building is in late 2026. Beneath the tower is the Lancaster West estate, home to about 2,000 people. Part of the estate closest to the tower was cleared after the disaster and remains empty. Mohammed Yanya, 74, who lives on the estate, recalls frantically calling his pregnant daughter Rabia, who lived in the tower with her 3 children, telling them to get out despite the fact residents had been told to stay in the flats. Rabida, 39, escaped from the 18th floor with her family, but was in a coma for hospital for 21 days afterwards. Yanya's granddaughter, 10 at the time, was in a coma for 12 days, and his grandson, 11 at the time, was in a coma for 10 days. The youngest sister was carried out by Rabia in a blanket, survived, as did Rabia's unborn child. Rabia still has breathing problems after having part of the lung removed. The family was rehoused locally. And yeah, I said, for me, I want the tower to come down. For my family, they all want it to come down. My daughter doesn't want to see it. You see it every time you pass it in and out. It's a painful memory. You can do something better in its place. Again, this is why I'm inclined to agree. Kamiba of the group's Grenfell Next of Kin, an advocacy group for the immediate families of nearly half the people who were killed in the tower fire and 11 of the 18 children, said some hope there can be a partial preservation of the tower. A statement from the group said the most important thing is to rest the site of our loved ones who were reduced to ashes in the tower. That is their death place, their shrine, their tomb, their agony place, and where we connect with them. So the physical building itself and the height is very important, but at the same time we have to understand from a structural point of view the top 13 floors cannot stay propped up indefinitely. But we want the height of the building on the skyline so that we never forget the state and incorporate the negligence of which 72 of our children, partners, parents, and siblings in the most brutal and terrifying way while we were on our phones with them or watching. An MHCLG spokesperson said no decisions had been made on the future of the tower. And this is while obviously like there's just some views there, we didn't really hear from a view of somebody who wants to keep it there. So I'm curious to know if those who actually want to keep the tower, what's the reasons behind keeping the tower. I generally would like to know the reasons why you would want to keep the tower. Like I said it's better to bring the tower down. Like, yes, keep parts of you can use some of the materials and whatnot of that tower to have a proper fine memorial in its place, right in its place. To have a proper memorial to commemorate the lives, to showcase that. And I think that's important. But I'm in agreement with the majority here that the tower needs to go down. The tower needs to come down. It's not benefiting anyone, and especially like it says there, for people who have to get up every day and see that, be reminded every single day that's where people died. It's not. Some people, like, of course, some people, you don't want to see that tower every day to remember it. Some people don't want to see that tower every day. Of course, in the message there, time to move on. That's the thing that kind of hits home more than anything. But what do you guys honestly think? So I think it should go down, and I think a memorial should be put in place. But what do you guys think? Should it be demolished? Maybe some of you have different reasons. Honestly, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you think it should stay, why it should. If you agree with me, should it be demolished? Do you think a memorial should be put in its place, a better memorial instead? Let me know your thoughts and more about this story down in the comments section below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button, we greatly appreciate it. Share this across social media so others are notified of this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing because it really does help support the channel. If you want to go one step further and finally support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.